Welcome back to Basement Philosophies, where the conversation can go anywhere. Just a disclaimer, I am not a medical doctor, so anything we discuss here is just my personal experience and not at all medical advice. Let's get to it. I'm your host, Brittany, and I'm so happy that you're here. Hey, it's me. I missed last week, so I love doing these. I love them. I don't care if they suck. It's just so much fun. I love them. But I'm not at a place in my life where if everything implodes, I can just grind through something like this. I'm not there yet. People's lives can fall apart and you'd never know. I'm not that person. I'm falling apart. I need to not do anything. So I was thinking I want these to start coming out on Thursdays, which I understand this is not Thursday. I just wanted, to get this out because I haven't put one out. Maybe I'll do two. I don't know. I'm still trying to get my bearings, guys. I know, I'm such a mess. I'll get there, but I'm thinking Thursdays, because it's not Wednesday. I always hate Wednesdays, and I don't hate. I try to love every day, but when I was working 9 to 5, Wednesdays blew. Thursdays I felt a little better because the next day was Friday and the weekend was coming. So if you're feeling pumped on Thursday, this will be out. And then if you're super pumped and you feel like listening on, maybe your drive to work, it'd be out on, already Friday morning. So that's just kind of what I've been thinking. I don't know. I'm still not sure. I have a commitment problem, I guess. But yeah, things just were not good last week. I didn't feel good. People were acting like animals last week. And I just was not in a good place. But I'm better. I'm here. And yeah, so I wanted to record this because I felt motivated to. What is it? Is it Monday? Yeah, Monday. The sun isn't out anymore. It's cloudy, but it's warm, and I'm so happy, super happy. I don't like winter. I'm over it. I wanted to get plants, for my balcony, but I don't know yet. I'm not. Is there going to be any more cold snaps? I have no idea, because whatever cold snap just blew through, that was surprising. And so I'm not sure. Pregnancy wise, everything's good there. I just I'm not really to the place where I'm super uncomfortable, but I'm starting to understand what people mean when they say I'm uncomfortable. Certain chairs sitting for a long time. We went to go see the new Batman movie, and it was so long, and everything was hurting, and I could not get comfortable. And sometimes I just want to lay down. And I'm still trying to I'm active, but some days I just want to lay down. And today I kind of feel that way. I mean, this chair I'm in, awesome. But my partner's usually sitting in this chair working, but he hasn't been here in days. He hasn't slept here, and because he's doing a favor for his kids, and I've been all by myself, and I love my alone time, but it's still weird. And then you get lonely because nobody really wants to hang out with you when you're pregnant, especially when you're 32 weeks pregnant, because you're big and you get tired so fast. I had a beautiful baby shower on Saturday. It was so amazing. My sister, my aunt, Miss Kathy, they all did an amazing job. Thank you again if you're listening out there. It was so beautiful, but and it wasn't even long. I wasn't there all day, but I was so exhausted from doing nothing except eating and opening gifts, and I was so tired. Just moving around, I guess. And I'm pretty active, so gosh, it's just so exhausting. All you mothers out there, all you women being pregnant and working full time and just going through the motions like nothing, way to go. Because I'm like not that way. I'm so tired. I never sleep. And I know it's only going to get worse from here. You don't have to tell me. Please don't come at... What do they say? Don't come at me. Like, I get it. This ain't nothing yet. God, I'm already terrified. I don't need anybody to come at me to tell me how much worse it's going to get. I know. But just let me be tired. Okay? Because, like, I just can't get comfortable. There's not enough pillows in the world. Why I need 100, I don't know. But I make myself like a little pillow nest, and I'm like just pillows everywhere, and I have the bed all to myself right now, and so I just have pillows upon pillows everywhere. But last night I could not get comfortable. I just couldn't. I can't get comfortable any night now, and then when I finally do, I have to pee anyway, so it's just pointless to even try. But that's where I am. But I got all this amazing stuff. I go through it little by little. But I get overwhelmed pretty quickly because I don't want to kill my baby. Like, I was like, okay, Brittany, if you're going to freak out, why don't we like look at this little wrap thing I have, that I'll wear her with. And it's just, I think my mom got me it, and it's what I wanted. I'm super excited, but I opened the box and saw the directions, and it was like a little picture of the baby and how you had to make sure their neck is right in there and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill my baby. I'm going to kill my baby if I put her in this. Like, oh God. I got so overwhelmed and upset. I just put it all away and I put Michelle on. I was like, oh no. So that's what's going on there. But I do have a cool story, and it'll kind of segue into what I want to talk about, but not really. But I still want to tell you the story because it was so awesome. So I don't know if I was dreaming or if I was in that space where I was kind of awake but kind of dreaming too, like kind of sleeping too, or if I was just awake. I just honestly don't know. This happened to me once, another time too, but that's what was happening, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I talked to the spirit, the soul of my baby. And I know that sounds crazy, but I did. And it was so the soul, it was the soul of the baby. So it wasn't like I was talking to, it wasn't like a baby that was talking, because that would be weird. But I didn't see her or anything. It was just like a dialogue I could hear. And it was the soul that is going to be inside this baby's body. And I know it sounds weird, but that's what it was. And the soul, I'm going to say her, but I could just tell that it wasn't like a gender. It was just that it was a being. And a loving, caring one, but it wasn't like, I don't know, when you talk to God, I don't know how you guys talk to God, but I used to talk to God weird. I didn't have a very healthy relationship with God. But maybe God is not, I don't know. It wasn't it was like talking to my friends, it wasn't like I needed to be a certain way or to be proper or something. It was just talking, and I was like, oh, hi. And, I mean, she wasn't hey dude, not like that, but just hello, and I was like, so what? I was can I ask you questions? She's like, yeah. Okay. So I was like, well, are you are you inside of my body? It's just no, no. She's like, no. She's like, I'm watching myself grow right now, just like you, kind of like you, like, except that, you know, I could see more. She's like, but like, no, I'm just kind of hanging out with you, like you two, and watching myself grow. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I was like, weird, but cool. And I was like, okay. I was like, cause like, where are you? You know? She's like, well, I'm around. Why is that always the answer? Like, can you please tell me exactly where you are? I'd like to know. But she just said she was around. And I was like, okay. Well, I was like, can I ask you something else? She was like, yeah, uh-huh. I was like, why in the world would you pick me and Armando to be your parents? And I say that because, well, if you know me and my partner, you know why I say that. And her first response was, well, if it wasn't you two, then I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be who I am. And I was like, whoa, that was a crazy good answer, you know? Because it's true, like, if my parents didn't get together and make me, like, I wouldn't be me. I would be someone different. So it really is miraculous that you're here on this planet being you, because it had to happen that way, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be you. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too much, but that's what she said. She was like, well, if it wasn't you two, then it wouldn't be me here. And I was like, oh, okay. And so she was like, Armando, that's my partner. He was like, he has some healing to do, and I'm going to help him with that. Me being here helps him with that. And she was like, there's a lot of things he can't do on his own. As far as whatever, she didn't go into detail. She's like, I'm here to help him heal. And that, I had no words. I just sat there. And because I want that for him, because it made sense to me, but I know that won't make sense to a lot of people. And then she started talking about me. And she was like, I'm here to teach you that you are capable of the kind of love that a mother has for their children. She's like, you never wanted kids, but it wasn't that. She's like, it was, you didn't think you were capable, like, you didn't think you had it, what it takes to be a mom, to love in a way that moms do, for whatever reason. And that was hard. It was hard but beautiful to hear, but it was pretty cool that she called me out. But like me, like, I had no idea. Like, yeah, I went my whole life being fine not having kids. Having kids is hard, and I don't know. It's not something that I longed for, and I hate to say that, because there's so many people that are trying so hard to have kids, and here I am, and I know, and I'm sorry. I don't mean anything by it. It's just, it's the way that it happened. And she was like, I'm here, to show you this, like, type of love, and that you're capable of it, kind of thing. And I was like, wow, it's so nice of you. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. She seems like up for the challenge. I don't know. It's just, she seemed like she was an old soul, kind of like me. Except I'm not the oldest soul. I know that. I know there's some that are older. But she seemed a little like me, I think. I don't know. Maybe this wishful thinking. But I thought that story was really cool. Because as hard and as awful as like a spiritual journey can be, there's some really beautiful parts. Like that story. Like I love that kind of stuff. And I love like the tools that people use in spirituality. Like, you know, your yoga and your meditation and prayer and, you know, plant medicines. Like I love all of that stuff. And wow, I meditate, and I'm not deep in my yoga practice, of course, but I move my body. I do meditate, and I'm still doing my breath work, and I'm on week 9, so next week will be my last week. Like, that's all I'm doing. I don't dabble in plant medicines just yet. It hasn't been my time. But it's definitely something that I want to do, but just not there yet. But as great as all of those things are, you have to like be careful. You know, when I started on this path, I didn't really even understand what spirituality was. I grew up, you know, devout Catholic. I was taught that I needed to fear God and everything else, that I was born a sinner, which was devastating to me as a child. I don't know. It was so conditional, everything that I learned in school and things. While I'm happy to have had the exposure to God, you know, I don't like the way that I was taught. It was just unhealthy. And so all of that kind of fell apart, though, in my 20s, and I just kind of had to unlearn a few things because they weren't serving me and my purpose here. They weren't making me a better person. It was just unhealthy. And so it's kind of like, you know, when I went through my crisis, my religious crisis, basically, you know, I was just like on this spiritual path now of, and I didn't mean to be. It wasn't like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this now. No, I got really, really sick, and I was just really in a bad place. And I started Ashtanga yoga. I've talked about that. And it just kind of led me down these different roads. And it was okay for a while. Like, I was learning a lot, and I was reading books, and I just was trying to tap into like who I was and what my purpose here was. And I was just, you know, being honest with myself too. But then it took like an ugly turn. I'm not really sure when, but I say all this because as much as I love this journey, and I still do, I can't wait to be like not pregnant, and then I can like dabble in some other stuff, you know. But you can kind of get lost in it, and you can get weird with it. And then also you get to this place where you're using your spirituality as like a tool to avoid things. Again, you know, I avoided things my entire life. I would drink so much wine because it was delicious and made me feel better, and I didn't have to think about the sadness or the emptiness because I was just drinking wine and watching my show. Me and my sister were talking about how much we love to drink wine and watch Cougar Town. Like, it's just one of those things that we love to do. It's like, I don't know, I just love it. I still love it. Like, I can't wait to do that again. Or, you know, take my bubble bath and have some wine. Like, I don't know. I don't miss drinking. Like, I'm fine without it. But like, it's just like, I love to drink wine and watch Cougar Town. Or any show. Like, I just love it. But there's different ways to numb yourself. Of course, people use all kinds of things. Drugs, TV, video games, porn, food, exercise, too much exercise, all kinds of things. But I'm talking about what I guess, I don't know who deemed this word, maybe psychologists, I don't know. They call it spiritual bypassing, and it is a real thing. And like I said, as much as I love all things spiritual, I am also a psychologist. I'm getting my master's in psychology, so and I believe in talk therapy, and I love my therapist, and I love therapy. I mean, I love therapy so much, I'm becoming a therapist. So, spiritual bypassing is definitely a thing. And if you've never heard of it, it's basically just another tool, another practice, another way of basically avoiding what you don't want to hear or see or feel, whatever it might be. So, like, this is not going to be a lesson. I'm going to tell you what I did in hopes that either you stop doing it or you can recognize it if it shows up in your own life. Or if you've done it, just know that you're not alone, because everybody's going to go through this at some point. And I can remember, so I did a lot of integration work because I had so many repressed emotions. And, that was my goal. I wanted to integrate all of these things that I was feeling so that I could feel better. And I knew it was scary and I knew it was hard, but I just, I wanted to be able, like, when I felt something, I wanted to be able to recognize what I was feeling, because I couldn't. I was in such a bad place that I couldn't. Like I said, it was like a white noise. And I didn't want to feel that way. I wanted to feel again like a normal person does. And eventually that did happen. So I did something right? But, the healing's never done. You're never fully integrated. Even when people say they're enlightened or whatever the F they say. I don't like to use that word. Sometimes I don't even think they know what it means, but that's beside the point. It's like people get to this place, which I didn't necessarily, but they get to this place where they think they're like not human, or they're trying not to be human, but that's stupid. Sorry, it is, because we're on Earth and we're human. That's why we're here. That is the point. So why people are trying to not be human here, that's really weird. And it's just not a goal. It's not something that you can do. You can be free of a lot of things, but, you're still going to be human. Things are still going to hurt you. Like, people are going to hurt your feelings, or you're going to get mad, things like that. And people try to rise above that, and you can't. And you're not gonna. So while you can learn to respond instead of react, which is what I'm working on. So when that person does make you mad, instead of flying off the handle, you kind of learn to step back, take some breaths, feel the anger, and just kind of move on, move past it. That's the point. You want to feel everything that comes to you. And, well, it got to the point where I wasn't doing that. So I was trying to rise above. Or something maybe would come up and I would push it down and be like, I'm above this, feeling like, or I don't know what I would say to myself, but either way, I would just push it away, whatever it was. And I got into this really toxic habit of like being over optimistic, maybe. I mean, because like I went from being the most negative person ever. I mean, I could spin a story in a negative way. It was just like a gift. Like I was so negative. And then I kind of just flipped that to, instead of being like somewhere in the middle, I went all the way to the positive side, and everything, I was just overly optimistic. And with everything, like it's like everything I went through, I was just like, while I do think everything does, there is there are lessons to be learned in every situation. I do believe that. But there's a time and a place. Like, if someone dies, I'm not going to be like, okay, what do I need to learn from this? No, I'm going to be sad and mad and all the things that come with grief. But, it's kind of like that, you know, like these traumatic events happen in your life, and you're just trying to find the silver lining instead of just letting life happen. You know, you're not, when someone dies, you don't need to find the silver lining, right? You need to grieve that person. You just lost somebody. That's a very terrible thing, you know. And I use that because they're a good example of other people kind of spiritually bypassing to you, like towards you, would be like those empty platitudes people give you when someone dies. Like, we'll talk so much about grief on later episodes, like, because I do think it's important, but like it's just like, oh well, God has plan. Like, shut up. Nobody wants to hear that. Like, no. This person died. I'm sad. I'm devastated. I don't know how I'm going to survive this. Traumatic events is trauma, and you have to deal with it. You're not trying to find the good in it, because there's nothing good about something traumatic. I'm sorry. There's just not. And you need to, and when you're in this loop of spiritual bypassing, you get to this place where you stop being honest with yourself. And you're annoying, for one, and then two, you feel like something is off, because it is, and then like it's like you're not being honest with yourself, and you know it, and yet you continue to do it because you've convinced yourself that this is how I get to what do they call it? This is how I become enlightened, or whatever the F. But I just hate when people say that sometimes. Maybe they are, but I want somebody to sit down with me and tell me what that means. Like, if they're enlightened, sit there and tell me what that means for you. Because I think that you get to a really scary place with that. Like, because that's why people worship these gurus and these spiritual teachers who end up being terrible people. You don't know everybody's agenda, so that's why discernment is so important. And but anyway, that was kind of off topic, but yeah, don't trust everybody, okay? Just use your discernment, because having blind trust, oh God, people suck sometimes. But anyway, yeah, so I just had like this positive thinking problem. Like, people could treat me awful, and I would be like, oh, they're just in pain. Like, I need to forgive them. Like, forgiveness was my big thing. I wanted to forgive everybody, which I still do, but forgiveness is a lot different than what I was trying to do. It's not, I was trying to make what they did okay. These people were treating me like dog shit, and I was letting them because I was making excuses. And And I wasn't like, wow, that really sucks. That person sucks. Because sometimes people do suck. And I was just like, I forgive them. Like, oh God, I'm just so annoyed with myself right now. Just thinking about it. But yeah, like I was just so obsessed with this version of me that was so unattainable. But like spiritual bypassing, you have to be careful about that, because you're not being honest. Like, if you're angry, be angry. But I mean, don't like be violent. Just feel the anger. How does it feel? It feels heavy in my chest. My skin is flushed. I'm hot. Like, my blood pressure goes up. Like, you need to feel all that. It doesn't feel good, but when you feel all of that, your body integrates it and you let it go. And that is what the human experience is about. And when we get to this place where we're only focusing on the positive, it's not authentic. It's not real. And it's just like, it just reminds me of when I was talking with this group. Like, I'm always looking for people that think like me, but nobody seems to. So it makes you feel really alone. And I remember I was like, well, maybe these people will. And I was sitting here. I liked the yoga teacher that was talking. But honestly, that talk made me not want to even be a part of it anymore. Like, I just didn't even want to do yoga anymore. Because if it meant I had to be in that box, I didn't want to do it. I'd been in a box my whole life. And here I was, people telling me, like, I needed to be in this new one. Or that if someone made me mad, I was, like, triggered and I needed to rise above it. Or something like that. Or my experience here was not real. Or like, life is an illusion. And all this shit. And I was like, no. I was like, this is not right. This is not resonating with me. Maybe time is an illusion. I don't care. But what I do know is that I'm on this planet right now, and that guy totally screwed me over, and I'm mad about it. Or whatever it might be. Or that boyfriend cheated on me, and I know it, and you're telling me I need to forgive him and rise above it, and then find out what was wrong with me? And that's another thing. That's another thing. You attract people, and while, yes, patterns do tell you a lot about yourself, and that's spiritual or not, that's life. Like, if you have a pattern, like, say you are attracting terrible men, sometimes it is something that you're doing, or choices that you're making, or maybe some deep wound that you're not aware of that's making you choose, like, these types of people, right? And it is important to figure out those schemas, because if you do, you won't make those same choices. But that's not what I'm talking about, because that is a thing, and that, and we can go into that later on. But what I'm talking about is when someone does something shitty to you, and you like, instead of holding them accountable, you wonder what you did wrong. Like, what you did to make that happen to you. Like, I don't know, like, something about, people will say, I don't even remember where I heard it or who I was talking to. All I know is something terrible happened. Like, a guy was terrible, like, or a friend did something happened in my life. And someone told me that my vibration was low, and I caused that to happen. My thoughts caused that to happen, or something. While that can be the case for some things, no, like, at what point is it the other person's fault? Because what you're telling me is that people walk around and everything's my fault, and these people walk around doing terrible things to people, and they're never held accountable. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. It's like, I don't know, but it got to this place where I was getting so frustrated because I think I have talked about it before, but I'm not sure. But I refer to it as my spiritual microscope, and I would just keep myself under this microscope, and I would be like, oh, okay, what can I fix now? You know, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with me? Where can I work? What is something I can work on? And then I would go and work on that thing. And then if I felt like I worked on it enough, then I would move on to the next thing. If you're looking at yourself, trying to figure out what you need to fix next, I promise you there's always going to be something there to fix. And it's ongoing, and then you're just going to start feeling worse and worse about yourself. Now, does that mean stop working on yourself? No. But give yourself a break. Like, accept yourself. Like, I think I was trying to be perfect. I think I was trying to be... Maybe I was trying to make up for all the things that I'd done wrong in my life. Like, maybe I hurt people. I know I hurt people, just like they hurt me, you know? And I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I think that in an effort to make up for hurting people or being nuts and psycho or crazy, I wanted to be just this heavenly person. And it wasn't real. It wasn't attainable. It was just ridiculous. I was being ridiculous. And it's good to want to be good, but you need to be realistic. We live in a hard world. And we don't need to forget that. I was in this place, like, mentally where, you know, I wanted to be, I do. I want to be a light in this world. I do. But people think that love and light is going to make a difference. Like, oh, I send you love, I send you light. Like, no. That even Jesus Christ has been known to get mad. Like, what is it story? And I'm not like a big Bible person, but I remember learning about those people that were selling stuff in a church or whatever, and he got really mad, and he was like flipping over those tables. Like, he was mad. Jesus gets mad. I mean, he wasn't just this quiet. I don't think he was. I mean, all the pictures that I've seen of Jesus, he's like this scrawny little man in a dress, like soft-spoken, angelic person. But if I'm being honest, I don't think that's who Jesus was. And you can think whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter, you know. You don't even have to believe in Jesus, right? This is just me. Anything works, whatever resonates with you. I think Jesus was, like, tough as hell. I think he was big and strong and tough, like, physically, mentally, verbally. Like, I think he had to be. Like, look at everything that happened to him. And I don't mean to go on this tangent. I'm just saying, like, my perspective of Jesus changed when I started to change. Like, if he's this meek, soft-spoken, whatever, like, of course people think that love and light is going to change the world, but it's not. Like, you need to open your mouth and say something when something doesn't feel like just to you. If something doesn't feel right, say it. Something pisses you off, say it. Like, we're all just obsessed with not hurting anyone's feelings or offending someone or keeping the peace, I guess you could say. That's not going to help anybody. It's not helping anybody now. I mean, look what has happened. Just open your eyes and look around and look at what all the not talking has done. And it's just, I don't think it's a time. I think it's a time to be loving, but I also think it's the time to speak up. If something doesn't seem right, it's probably because it isn't. So, that's what I was doing. Like, I mean, I did it too. Like, I'm not saying this from a place where, you're doing that, you're wrong, gross. No, I did this stuff too. This is not, I'm not better than anybody. I never will be. I mean, I've done things that I'm still embarrassed about, but you know what? I can go forward and be a better person, or act better, or not be a drunk psychopath. Like, I can work on all of those things. Or I can continue to act that way, or I can continue to feel shame for anything that I might have done. But no, I can be remorseful for the things that I've done that I feel guilty or shameful about, but I can move forward and grow and be a better person every day. I don't go out just screaming in people's faces. That's not what I mean. What I mean is having my boundaries. And if somebody hurts me, like, say my partner hurts me, like, maybe he said something mean, or I didn't like something he said, or whatever it is. Just say he was like an asshole, and I was like, hey, you really hurt my feelings when you did that. Like, it's okay to do that. And then, sometimes I will do that, and he'll be like, oh, no, I didn't. Like, the way you make me feel is not up for debate. Okay? I'm letting you know you hurt my feelings. Stop doing that. And it's just, like, that's what I mean. Like, stand up for yourself. Work on yourself. Do the work on you so that if someone is a jerk or, is coming at you, like, it won't hurt as much. Especially strangers. Like, these trolls everybody talks about. They're real, man. And I just, you just kind of like, whatever. You don't let it bother you. But, if something does bother you, say it. Or if someone's a hypocrite, say it. If you think if there's something that you don't agree with and, they're willing to have a discussion about it, then say it. But if someone's screaming at you and being crazy and just, like, the pandemic was, everybody's true colors came out with that, didn't it? And when everybody's calling me like a grandma killer and shit, I was just like, really? You don't have to listen to that. You can not wish death upon people because they don't believe what you believe. Like, that's ridiculous. Let people be themselves as long as they're not hurting anyone, right? It's just amazing to me how people are like, I am helping the planet. I'm making humanity better. But if you don't do this, if you don't believe what I believe, then I hope you die. That's pretty much what's been happening for the past 2 years. And I think that narrative is ridiculous. Stand up for yourself. But you know what? Be a beacon of light in this world. Especially when everything seems so dark. It really does. But you can make choices. You can choose to respond instead of react. And that's what I have been working on. And I send blessings to everybody that I see on the streets. I smile at them. I ask God to protect them. And I ask God to, bless them with anything that they need. I smile at them. I send them kindness. I help people where I can. Like, I try to show up in this world in a very loving and compassionate way. And I believe that more people need to do that because we are divided, and that's how they want us, whoever they might be. And it's time that we all come back together. But we have to work on ourselves. And by working on ourselves, I mean integrate. and feel and be honest with ourselves, not meditate or rise above our emotions and then call ourselves enlightened and then start shitting all over people. So that is my points. I'm so happy that you were here listening to me, and I will be back maybe Thursday, but I need to start, I don't want to have this baby and disappear, but I know that I'm going to be out of commission I don't know, 6 weeks or more. I'm really terrified about the lack of sleep, I'm not going to lie, but we'll get through it. But I didn't want to disappear, so I'm trying to get some things recorded so that I can get it out there. But just remember that I think you can find me on most platforms now. But I just find me. You can definitely on Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprouts, and Stitcher. Is that? Well, you can find me, and you can also contact me directly, basementphilosophies@gmail.com. You can go to my website it's just basementphilosophies.com, and you can contact me there. I write some things and put them up there, and then my podcast too, I will post on there. It's just a place it's like my diary kind of, but sometimes it's incongruent with what we're talking about here. But you can also find me on Instagram. It was like my personal account, but now I think that maybe I shouldn't be, but I'm still trying to figure it out. But you can still follow me there, Basement Philosophies on Instagram. Also, I think I'm doing a handstand in the photo. I should probably change that so you can better find me. But anyways, I'm here. I'm sending you love and all the blessings that God can offer you. And if there's any way that I can pray for you, please let me know. I will talk to you soon. Love you so much. Bye.